Hi, my name is Audrey Gale and I do art. Today I'm doing a little bit of prep work because I have a craft show tomorrow. About twice a year, there is a local art market at the high school to support the high school band. I signed up for this like back in February. So tomorrow is the big event. It's from 10 to 4. I just need to make sure I have all my prints ready and that I have enough for the show. This is actually going to be my last market of 2024, unless something comes up last minute that I want to participate in. But this is the last one that I'm signed up for. To be honest with you guys, I don't have the highest of hopes for this one. Let's just say that because I haven't had a single successful market in 2024. This is really my first year really going at it with the markets. I've done probably 6 or 7 of them and they've all pretty much been duds. But if you've seen any of my other market videos, you probably know that I've really been just trying whatever sounds good. I've been trying different locations, different company run markets. I've been trying different cities and they just haven't worked out. I think I'm just not picking the markets that best go along with my art, my brand. So I've taken 2024 to kind of experiment and realize what doesn't work for me so that next year I can avoid all that and do the ones that I think will work for me. That being said, you know, it's an $80 booth fee. It's for a good cause and you know, it's no hard feelings if it doesn't work out. I'm kind of like expecting the worst and hoping for the best. I have very low stakes for this. I don't know. I know that's not the best attitude to have going into it, but I can't help but to feel that way with how this year has been with art markets. So I hope that this market proves me dead wrong.
Okay, we're at the venue. I literally went to the wrong high school first. Luckily, it wasn't too far away. And they've got the students helping us load in, which is really nice. Right, so it's like 5 minutes till the event. We just got all set up, but I had to run to the car to get something. Basically, I'm going to be promoting my murals while I'm here. Just giving out some flyers as people come by. I'm also going to be promoting some paint party stuff. They've got a silent auction at this thing. And since we're in Nashville, there's a bunch of country stars that have donated like signed guitars, signed vinyl records. There's a Carrie Underwood vinyl record signed. And I might lose every dime that I make at this thing because now I really want that. For those of you who know me, I have been a Carrie Underwood diehard stan for like 20 years. Like I voted for her on American Idol when I was like 10 years old on my mom's track phone when you had to pay for the minutes. So I'm basically the reason Carrie Underwood's even famous today. So, yeah, I might have to bid on that for real. These are very cool. Very neat. All right, so it's 2:40 p.m. We have about an hour and a half left of the art market, and I have like doubled my booth cost. I am just as shocked as you are. The tables have turned. I had someone buy 2 big prints from me, which was $30. And then I had someone buy an original, which has literally never happened before. I almost didn't even bring the originals because nobody buys them ever. They're more just for show, and to fill up my booth space. And then if someone buys them, great. But that, literally no one ever does. So from that, I've doubled my booth sale. I mean, who knew? Now I think the move is to just go into these art markets with like a really bad attitude, and then you end up profiting. So I'm gonna just start doing that.
So it's Wednesday, and over the weekend I had my best market of the year. I'm definitely surprised by the turnout. It wasn't like the most spectacular traffic, or like you couldn't really see it from the street that well. It was kind of tucked away. I mean, I hate to have that kind of attitude going in, but I just couldn't help it with my track record this year. I also looked at some photos online beforehand, and I was just like, yeah, I don't think this is my scene. I was pleasantly surprised. First of all, it was indoor, which is always a positive as far as I'm concerned. You don't have to worry about rain or any sort of weather, like either not driving people in or ruining your stuff. So let me share some numbers with you guys. Total sales were $157. My booth fee was $80. And that means I came out with a $77 profit. Now granted, the booth fee I paid back in February, and it is currently November. So by girl math, that means that it was free. I'm definitely figuring out what my most popular items are when I go in person and do these events. Let me just name out what I sold within that 6-hour market. I sold 1 Dr. Pepper sticker, 3 Diet Coke stickers, 1 8x10 Diet Coke print, 1 5x7 Diet Coke print, 1 5x7 Starbucks print, 1 5x7 Dr. Pepper print, 2 8x10 banana prints, 1 banana sticker, and I sold 1 original, which was of the Chick-fil-A heart. To be honest, I mean, would this have been a great show if that original did not get sold? No, it would have been a really bad show. But, I never bring originals because they never sell, and you just never know. I really just bring it to fill up the space and attract people into the booth, and I never really expect to sell them, but you're never gonna sell them if you don't bring them. So it's really not a big deal to bring my smaller ones. So I'll definitely continue to do that just in case someone's interested in an original. The person who bought the original also messaged me on Instagram beforehand, after I shared that I was gonna be at that show, and she said, hey, like, I actually bought one of your prints from a local store, and I'm gonna be there visiting some friends, so I'll come by and see your booth. And I was like, great. So she now has 2 things from me, which, does that make her a collector? I'll say that it does. I'll say that I have my first collector. She's also a local artist as well. I gotta say, this market in particular, while it was my most profitable, it was also my most successful market as far as like talking to the other vendors, getting great advice and information from them, making friends within the community, and just finding that local artist support. Even when I have a bad market, I usually do have some sort of positive artist interaction, and this one was definitely off the charts. Like, people are starting to like recognize me from other markets. Like, other vendors are starting to come up to me and be like, hey, I saw you at this market, and blah blah blah. It's also really nice because nobody is really in competition with each other. Everyone's got their own thing going on, and everyone's just really rooting for one another. They're happy to share pointers and tell you where the good art markets are and where to apply or where not to apply. So, I mean, just some really invaluable information that I wouldn't have gotten if I hadn't gone to these markets. Another good reason to go to markets, you know, my online sales are essentially zero, and that's okay. When you make online sales, it's really hard to hone in on like, okay, what's the demographic of people that are buying this? Like, who is it? Who is interested in my stuff? I didn't have a great idea of who was interested in my stuff until I went out to the local events and physically saw the people coming to my booth. And I have concluded that almost exclusively it's women, 20s, 30s, 40s, almost exclusively white women. So very much my own demographic. But I think it'll be interesting to see how that changes as I go to different events. Like if I go to maybe a different city, or maybe like more in the downtown Nashville area, like am I gonna have just a completely different crowd that's attracted to my work? And that's just information that you can't always get when there's an online transaction going on. So now I can just kind of take that information and figure out, okay, what does this crowd like? What are their interests? What kind of art are they hanging up in their home? That way I can make things that I enjoy, but that also appeal to that audience that I'm already attracting. In conclusion, that is my last market of 2024 that I'm signed up for. I don't have any plans to do another one this year. If something happens last minute and it's a good opportunity, I'll jump on it. But otherwise, I'm glad that we ended with a small bang. You know, it wasn't just a complete wash for this year. It wasn't like a complete disappointment for this year. I'm hoping to go into 2025 picking art markets that are better for me, picking art markets that have more of my audience. I definitely have gained a heap of information, both from other artists and just from trial and error of going to these markets that don't really work for me. Between now and my next market, I plan on really just upgrading my booth in the sense of not like the setup itself, but the items that I have. I plan on adding more prints. I plan on kind of taking the ones that historically don't sell and definitely scaling back on them, but maybe doing like mystery packs where I include like a print and a few stickers. I think that would be a good way to move like some of the inventory that isn't doing so well, just for like a discounted price. So I'm really excited about what next year holds for art markets. I'll definitely be checking this one out in the spring. They do this exact show, one in the spring, one during Christmas time. The one in the spring, I've been told, is a little bit better because it's a more like common area location. People can see it from the street pretty easily. Yeah, overall, I'm really glad that I went. I make videos about art markets, about art business, about murals, paint parties, all that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye. So I'm editing this and I realized that I didn't tell you, and I do regret to inform you, that I did not win the Cry Pretty Carrie Underwood signed vinyl. I got outbidded at the very last second. I did not get a text notification that I was outbid, even though I was told I would. But you know, life goes on, I guess.